Yes, we thank you so much for watching Voices of the Bar, where the legal world speaks. My name is Walter, and today we want to go straight to the preliminaries or steps or procedures that you must undergo if you want to carry out what we call customary marriage. Customary marriage is another type of marriage that we are going to look at today. But we want to thank you so much for subscribing, for sharing and liking our videos. Keep subscribing, keep sharing as we give you all you need in terms of the legal world. Now, let's straight enter into preliminaries that you must follow when you are going for a customary marriage. One thing to note as we start, customary marriage is very important, is one type of marriage, and the certificate in a customary marriage is conclusive evidence of marriage. But what are some of the steps you must take? We looked at the Marriage Act under Section 6, which has a notice. The first thing you do, you must give a notice to the registrar. Now, in this case, our registrar is at the district, at the local council, where you take your notice. You notify the registrar that myself, Walter, and Shamira, we intend to get married under a customary marriage. And then when you write, one thing that we must note under Section 25, that one of the parties must have been in the country for at least 15 days. This is very important. One of the parties, if the other party is not in the country, but one of the party must have been in the country for 15 days. Now, what we must consider now, after the registrar, of course, will respond to you, and now you begin to carry out your function. Now, the first thing we must note is that this marriage takes place under the culture of the woman. Look at the case of Nasanga versus Nanyonga. In that case, it was illustrated that if you must carry out a valid marriage under a customary setting, that marriage must be in the interest of the culture of the woman. That we must follow the culture of the woman if we want to have a successful customary. Now, let's take an example. If my wife comes from Kapchorwa, meaning that we are going to follow the culture of Kapchorwa. If your wife is coming from Karamoja, Kabribyong, it means that you are going to follow the culture of the Karamoja people, because that is where your wife is coming from. Now, in the event you don't follow the culture of your wife, your marriage is voidable. It is actually a void marriage. We cannot consider it a valid marriage simply because you did not follow the culture of the woman. If your wife is a Muganda, is a Msoga, it applies with equal force. You go to the wife's culture. That is the first thing we must put into consideration. 2, for you to be able to carry out, you must seek the consent of the parents of the woman, that you must go and you talk to their parent and you seek that consent. Of course, they will go and ask the lady. Of course, the lady has told them you are coming, they know about you, but you must seek their consent. 2, there must be marriage settlement. Marriage settlement is the other step, that this is what you call bride price. And that marriage settlement, if you look at this, it must be registered. The marriage settlement must be registered. So, the marriage settlement is what we call bride price. And remember, in the case of law advocacy, bride price was discussed in that case broadly, and among them, asking for bride price was considered illegal. Inhuman. You cannot re-ask for the bride price you have given to the woman. You cannot ask for it. It is really illegal. So in that case, of course, we shall expound. We cannot discuss family law minus expounding the case of law advocacy, women for law advocacy versus attorney general. That is a locus cascas case. It has many elements, divorce and others, which have been discussed in that case, which we must broadly bring out. So there must be bride price given. It's what we call a settlement. And when you give that bride price, the woman side must go and register that settlement that this woman was given away for the bride price of ABCD. It should be registered. Then you will carry out that marriage of yours for as long as the place where you're carrying it from has been licensed. The minister will license through the registrar. The district registrar will have to license the area you're going to have your marriage from. 2, there must be, you must carry out that marriage in a district, in a marriage district. Now, what we mean with marriage district, these are, not every district in Uganda is a marriage district. If you look at Schedule 2 of the Act, of the Customary Marriage Act, you will see the districts which have been gazetted. I'm going to find out, I'm told there are those which have been included. But there are over, I think, 12 or 13 districts. Now, of course, the attachment, you find that if Mbale is among the areas around Manafa, all those, they may be attached to Mbale. I had my act here. Let me show you the districts. Schedule 2, Customary Marriage Registration Marriage Act. Let us look for Schedule 2. Yes, we are here. Marriage districts. Under Schedule 2. Marriage districts for registration of customary marriage. Arua is 1. Entebbe is 2. Fort Potro 3. Gulu 4. Hoima 5. Kabale 6. Kitgum 7. Lira 8. Masindi 9. Mbarara 10. Moroto 11. Moyo 12. Injeru 13. Soroti 6. Tororo 14. Now you see, those are the districts. Meaning that, for example, Mbarara here, most of those areas around Mbarara, Isingiro, Bushenyi, Ibanda, all those areas, they are all their district is in Mbarara. So note that every district is a marriage district. But there are those where you'll find the headquarters where you have to go and register your district, your marriage, customary marriage. And then finally, you will carry out your function and you will take the vows according to the culture of the woman, and thereafter you have to register your marriage. A customary marriage must be registered. In 6 months, where you fail to register your marriage, in just 6 months, it means that the registrar, the district registrar, will give you a fine, but you will eventually be able to register your marriage. So that is a process you must undergo to be able to secure your customary marriage. And a certificate in customary marriage is conclusive evidence of marriage. Important to note is that customary marriage is polygamous. This is a marriage where you can have more than two, more than one. You can have 3, 4 women. It is polygamous in nature. You cannot say that my husband is philandering, womanizing, under customary marriage. For as long as they agree, this marriage is polygamous. It is very important for us to note. So we want to thank you so much for watching Voices of the Bar, where the legal world speak. We ask you to subscribe, to share, and keep liking our videos. Thank you so much. This has been Voices of the Bar, where the legal mind speak, where the legal world speaks. Thank you so much. Until next time, cheers.